Hi everyone. In this video we will do a postmortem for our motion sensing jack-o'-lantern project. So what is a postmortem? Well, in project management context, postmortem process is done after a project is considered complete. In this process, some qualitative and quantitative data is presented, analyzed, and this information is used to identify what went well and what could have been better with the execution and the outcome of the project. Since the term is a bit on the dark side, sometimes they are also called project retrospectives. As I am familiar with from my daytime software engineering activities, a postmortem is held as a meeting where the team and the stakeholders sit down together. Data such as key metrics, customer and engineering feedback is presented, and the team tries to make some information out of this data, tries to identify what went well and what could have been better, what could have been improved with the project and with the general execution. So this process could be used in any tasks or projects with excellent learning outcomes, and even seemingly simple projects, one-person maker projects like this. It will give you an opportunity to celebrate your work, learn from your mistakes, ideas to iterate, and improve a project that already worked for you. It doesn't matter if your project met your expectations or completely finished, still very useful for your future projects, improvements, or ideas. When is a good time to do it? Usually sometime after your project is considered complete. If you are reaching a particular market, if you have some customers, it needs to reach out to a reasonable amount of customers so you can get some feedback. If there are any problems, you will know about those problems. You basically need to gather some data about how your project is performing. And this can take a couple of weeks, a couple of months, but it shouldn't be longer than that because the execution, the ideas should still be as fresh as possible. So whenever you have the minimum amount of data to measure the success of your project, either quantitative or qualitative, doesn't matter too much, especially in these maker projects, that is a good time to do your retrospective. So in our case, in this simple motion sensing jack-o'-lantern project, it's actually a very good time to do it because I built it at 20th of October. If you haven't watched my previous video and if you are curious how this project is made, a link down below in the description. So yeah, just before Halloween, it ran out of batteries. Well, it didn't. Still, it's flashing a little bit, but the motion sensing doesn't work anymore. And yeah, I think it just needs a change of batteries, but we will do a post-mortem on it. I'll just talk about it, how it's used, what happened, and so you will understand the process better. So let's talk about what went well with it. It definitely sparked joy. The family loved it, and there were also some side features that I wasn't expecting, such as a night light when you wake up in the middle of the night. It's pretty useful because it senses the motion and it comes off, it comes on immediately. And I did a few changes. One of the changes were I just did it in the first couple of hours actually. I increased the sensitivity of the motion sensor all the way up because of the model. The motion sensor has a limited vision, but when I cranked the sensitivity all the way up, it didn't seem to be a problem anymore. Even from longer distances, it was sensing motion very well. And yeah, it was pretty active in these last 2 weeks. But yeah, I think now is the time that it needs a battery replacement, which we're going to do. It's good. It worked well. A couple of things that could have been better, perhaps. Yeah, on the LED front, let me open it up. Yeah, on the LED front, well, the light could have been stronger. So we used like, as far as I can remember, a 12 ohm resistor here. So that gives us like 10 milliamps on the LED, and with PWM it's even lower. So we should have probably used a much smaller value of resistor here. And the PETG filament worked pretty well. It's translucent enough that the light seeps through it nicely, but it also keeps the emphasis on the face and on the openings as well, which was good. No problems on that front. Nothing to improve there. Yeah, just the LED brightness perhaps was the only issue I have. And aside from that, let's look at the batteries and how it's going. I'm just going to pop out the circuit first. seems to be stuck there a little bit. So yeah, there you go. That's another thing that could have been better, perhaps. But with this project, I guess it's fine. Let's pop out the battery as well. Okay, so well, the blue tack. This is a very Australian thing. If you don't know about it, I met blue tack in Australia, and it's an amazing thing. You can use it to stick anything you can imagine, and with these prototypes, maker projects, it works really well. I thought it would dry, but it didn't. Well, the weather wasn't dry in the last couple of weeks too, but there seems to be nothing wrong with it, so this is good. And let's pop out these batteries and see where they are. Okay, we have 3 batteries. Let's measure how empty they are, and we can pop in new batteries too. Right, let's see where we are with these batteries. Okay. This is slightly below 1.2 volts. So that explains because the LDO on it has a 0.3 volt voltage dropout. So as soon as these things drop to slightly below 1.2 volts, our total voltage will be 3.6 volts. And with the 0.3 volts dropout here, everything will be at 3.3 volts. That's like barely enough for the motion sensor to work. And when it stops working, when the motion sensor stops working, it just kept on glowing. So it gives you a good indication that, hey, the batteries aren't great anymore. It's time to change the batteries. Let's check the other batteries if they are still balanced. Oh, what is going on here? Okay, so unless I'm mistaken, one of our batteries is completely dead. Yeah, that's weird. Let's check out this one. Wow. Yeah, that's odd because we have this at 1.2 volts, which is good. We have the other one at almost 1.18, yeah, almost 1.2 volts. That's also good. But one of our batteries is completely off balance and it's probably dead. Yeah, this battery is completely drained. It could be a faulty battery, or maybe it has completed its lifetime. You will see about that. I'm just going to put this in our battery charger analyzer and see how it goes. But it's interesting. They completely lost their balance. So at this point in time, I'm not sure exactly what went wrong, but this is something to keep an eye on, maybe on the second batch. Now let's pop in some fresh batteries in there and see how it goes. And this is the problem with these nickel metal hydride batteries, especially when you put 3 of them in series like this. All kinds of exciting stuff happen. These are like fresh batteries. Okay, we have nice 1.3 volts on this one. I'm just testing them just to make sure. Okay, well, the LED came on immediately, very bright, and the motion sensing also works, which is good. So let's pop these in there and see how it goes. I will start with the battery compartment as usual. Pop it in there. Yeah, like the blue tack solution, even though not great, it is not too bad. So it's also something that worked well for us. Blue tack, go blue tack. Okay, now let's pop in the lid. So it was relatively easy to change the battery. I was expecting it to be a little bit more difficult, but it wasn't at all. And let's check it out. Let's wait for it to. Okay, yeah, seems like the motion sensor is working now. Now let's give it a motion. Yeah, just detects motion immediately. The light comes back up, and that's pretty good. So we have already identified the what worked well and what didn't work well. The case, the blue tag, the prototype worked quite well. The expectation I had from this one was to spark joy. It did spark joy. It's definitely a fun project. Kids love it. So at that front, we met the customers' expectations as well. And the battery seems to be running for, it just went on for 2 weeks on a high foot traffic area. And it was also useful as a proper nightlight as well, which is what I wasn't expecting, or I didn't design it with that in mind, which is also good. So on the what could have been better front, we could just improve the brightness of the LED a little bit more. That would just reduce the battery life, but I guess it's fine. It's quite long. Perhaps we can reduce the value of the resistor or pop in another LED there, or perhaps use a brighter LED, something else. So I'll just think about that. And what happened with the batteries was a little bit interesting. So one of the batteries, one of the rechargeable batteries was completely dead, completely out of balance. So I just need to investigate that. Now let's try it with these fresh batteries, and whenever they are finished, we will know whether it has something to do with our design or something to do with a faulty battery. Or maybe we might need to add some additional battery protection there. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Now we know how to improve our project further, and hope you will do postmortems for your projects as well, because it's much easier to iterate on a project that you have already completed, that you are already familiar with, rather than chasing the next big shiny idea. I highly recommend it for all kinds of gadgeting purposes, and let me know if you find it useful or if you have any other ideas about it. Thanks for watching my video, and see you next time. Bye.